broke ground on this place in the year 2000. We count down to kickoff in what should be an epic one here between the Carolina Panthers and the Seattle Seahawks. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now Newton on first down. And this is a catch by Ted Ginn. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Now a first carry for Jonathan Stewart. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42. Earl Thomas in on the stop. Decent chunk of yardage still left here. 2nd and 7. To throw on 2nd down is Newton. And his throw here is incomplete. He was trying to get it that time to Ted Ginn. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. And caught left side, Olsen. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield.
There's a good push to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. And the numbers down a bit from their Super Bowl year this season for Jonathan Stewart. Did have some injuries. He finished with 824 yards. 9 touchdowns, though. Good in that department.
When it's around the goal line, he's a terrific runner because he knows how to get there, and he can run through contact, run through trash, as we like to say. That's part of the reason he accumulates the injuries that he does, because he runs inside a lot and takes on those linebackers. But they're going to work on Jonathan Stewart in the offseason, get him healthy, and have him back ready to go for next season.
They keep it on the ground again to Stewart. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5. And this defense looks for one more stop here on 3rd after the run.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
On 4th down, the Panthers hand things over to the veteran Andy Lee to punt it away. Back deep for the Seahawks, the All-Pro returner from 2015, Tyler Lockett. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. Rawls, the lone man in the backfield. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Star Latulele in on the tackle. They run with a power back. Rawls. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line.
I always appreciate runners who understand situations. That was just 3rd and inches. No reason to dance around in the backfield and try and break off a bigger play. Just go pick up the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
And this is caught. It's Jimmy Graham. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. You know, Charles, for Graham, so much concern early in the season about whether he'd be ready to play this year, what would happen recovering from the tendon. Not only was he ready, he played every game this season for Seattle.
And it wasn't just the injury concern with Jimmy Graham. It's how Seattle runs their offense. Remember, when he was in New Orleans, he could expect a ton of passes to come his way. But in Seattle, that number was going to be reduced. Would he be able to maximize what they were going to throw in his direction? And he certainly did this year, 65 catches.
65 catches, just shy of 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, too.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they got in him.
They really do. And it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He had told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
And Graham's got it over the middle. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. Looking to throw. He'll buy some time right. He may try and run for this. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal.
These type of plays are backbreakers for a defense. They thought they had him hemmed in, thought they were going to get him on the ground with the pass rush, but were unable to do so. He gets away, picks up a big 1st down, and sets up 1st and goal inside the 10.
They'll try and run down here with Procise. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now. They'll drop the throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. The tight end, Luke Wilson, was the target. And it's 3rd down. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball, and you can put pressure on them and make it tough.
And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Luke Wilson from 6 yards away. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead. Sometimes those tight ends are a mismatch. They found the mismatch there.
And that's exactly why you want to draw up those types of plays, because coverage is just going to go to the natural guys, the guys that make the big plays on the outside. But if you work your tight end into it, that's a tough one for a defense to handle.
Tough. They couldn't handle it. It worked out for 6. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here come the Panthers now, set to take over on offense. And last time out, they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up, but you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over.
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball away, and they're set to go on the field as opposed to sudden change after a turnover. Wow, now we got to go out there and stop people. So, yeah, there's always something positive to be gained from it.
And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down. So following the run, we'll see what they do here on 3rd down.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up the play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
It's a gain of 20 and picking up the 1st.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination. Guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And on 2nd and 10 now. Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain, partner.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop that big tree and put him on the ground?
I know back when you played, it took 4 of you to take a guy like that down, right?
Well, that's for sure. And then you know what else? I didn't want to challenge him at dinner either.
So now at 3rd and 12 with an extra defender here in the secondary, a nickel look. Now pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Mike Bennett in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
Returnable for Lockett. They juked him. Might have been one man away from 6 points. As it stands, it's a huge return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Let's go! Let's go!
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field, it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of body.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. And this may be a big early turning point in this Super Bowl. They're going to go for it on 4th down here. So on 4th down, here's the Canadian-born punter, John Ryan, to kick it away for Seattle. And look at this. It's a fake. This is Johnson. He's got it. And the fake will work. He's going to have a 1st down. It's a big play that time on the fake punt. And they're able to move the chains as they convert on 4th and long.
Always enjoy a good fake, but I really enjoy it when he throws the football from punt formation. Now, you were a kicker and a punter in high school. Did you ever do that?
One time, threw to my man Tim Jones on a botched field goal attempt. Hit him right in the numbers, and Jonesy just dropped it.
Oh, the poor guy. Well, we had a fake punt here, so I think he and his friends will be okay with that one.
And he loves his play call, right? He's been waiting for this one all week long.
Been had that arm loosened up ever since they got to the stadium.
He was trying to get it to Jermaine Kearse, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
I know in every game we do, we talk about momentum. That was a momentum play lost, and now there could be a letdown because they didn't get the interception.
Yeah, you could almost hear the collective gasp on the sideline as he could not come up with that football. Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10. A play-action fake. They'll look to throw. This will be caught at about the 6. And he will have the 1st down before he's brought down at the 3. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They'll stick with the passing game as and he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. Michael Vick, his 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. So 1 quarter down here in Super Bowl 51. Back here with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. We've had the kickoff to begin the first quarter. Now it's time for the 2nd quarter kickoff, as we'll see one following the score on the final play before break. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And the Seahawks defense heads back out there now. They'll be hoping to come up with that same type of effort they had last time when they forced the punt that led to a touchdown.
And that type of effort just continues to carry over, because once you get it done once, you feel like you can do it again and again. It's no guarantee, but you got to like the confidence that they take back out into the field.
Now, will they keep that confidence? Time to find out. It's a pickup of 19, and it'll be a Carolina 1st. They go play action here on 1st down. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he'll be taken down down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A very solid gain of 27. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. On 1st down, Newton. And caught left side, Olsen. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
I think I have to take a second here and talk about Greg Olsen, the tight end for the Carolina Panthers. 3rd straight year over 1,000 yards in receptions. And guess what? That's the first time that's ever happened in NFL history. 3 straight years by a tight end.
That's really something. Now 31 years of age. They're going to need him next year to turn it around because a very disappointing season. Not
the season anyone expected, least of all the Carolina Panthers, but he's a building block that they can go ahead and get back to form starting in 2017.
And now lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. Go down, extra defensive back in there on 3rd and 10. Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Partner, how many times have you heard it? Pressure creates diamonds, right? But it also bursts pipes. And on that one, that's what they got. They got after him, and he was fortunate just to get rid of it.
Yeah, he just had to chuck it away. And Gano's kick is right through. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So this offensive unit, they've now had 3 drives, and they only have 3 points to show for it.
Payoff is the key for everything. How many offenses have we talked to that say we have to finish drives? Thus far, this team hasn't finished it quite the way they wanted to.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. That's their 2nd, so they'll have 1 remaining here in this 2nd quarter. We'll be right back. They'll try and start this drive in the air. They find some open field here. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Holding offense.
So a little grabbing there, but this time it goes against the offense for holding. It's a loss of 10 yards on the play.
Let's go.
Back to throw here. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. Rawls, the lone man in the backfield. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with that, they're now out of timeouts. There's still plenty of time remaining here in this 2nd quarter. And the offense looks to pick up the first here on 3rd after that incompletion. On play action, they'll throw. And he can't bring it in. Incomplete. He dropped it on the crossing route. 4th down now. So on 4th down, as seen on TV, here's their resident strongman, John Ryan. On to punt. Back deep for the Panthers, Ted Ginn. Well, that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Panthers will get it here as they take possession. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
We're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score.
Kelvin Benjamin bounced back from an ACL injury in 2015 to really good health in 2016 and had a 100-plus yard game early in the season, so it looked like he was never broke 100 yards again.
That is hard to believe. He had a stretch late in the season. He went 18 yards, 11 yards, 20 yards. That's just not what you expect from him and the Panthers.
Not at all. I don't think it's all his fault, but they're going to be looking for another breakout season from him next year.
The tackle made by K.J. Wright. Here's Whitaker. And just a yard on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 4.
A 1-yard gain can look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time. Well, we're not playing 3 yards in the cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. So now off goes Newton, and on comes the kicker, Graham Gano. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Seattle now ready to march out of the field. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. CD, wanted to get your thoughts just on the landscape of the offseason for each of these teams. Super Bowl in the rearview mirror, but so much going on. People look at the draft a lot, but there's a lot more that goes into the offseason for these front offices, is there not?
It certainly is, and then even before we get to the draft, you start with the combine. You know, that's held in Indianapolis every year, and you have about 350 of the top prospects coming together to get their physicals and interviews and on-field performance, and all that will get evaluated along with their game tape. And then you've got the free agents, all right? That starts, I believe, in early March, where now the free agents can start moving around to different teams. So your team's starting to take a little bit of shape there, free agency, because then the draft's coming up. You're trying to put your team together with new draft picks, have everyone start to move in one direction. And then you have the OTAs and minicamps. You get to see them on the field for the first time. And we start to get a better idea of how these teams are going to look when the fall begins.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Out to the right here to Wilson. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It'll go as a gain of 12. And it's good enough for a Seattle first.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
The intended target, Doug Baldwin, and that'll bring up a 4th down. On is Hauschka now for the Seahawk field goal. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. It's caught outright by Graham. They pass up the 3, fake it. It doesn't work.
All right, Mr. Fantasy Champion, we just saw him fake a field goal, and the kicker has the opportunity to throw a pass. He completed it, but not for a first down. Does anyone get any points for that?
No, he just gets some pride going back to the sideline saying he completed a pass as the kicker. But the big thing here is they didn't get enough for the first. Carolina getting set to take the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Again, they'll go on the ground with Whitaker. That second down run, a big help as 7 yards leaves them with just a 3rd and 3 now.
Well, there's an example of patience being rewarded. Ran the ball on first down and got stuffed. Most people would scream, throw the ball here in this situation. They stayed with their roots, stayed with running the football, and they got rewarded.
Newton on 3rd down. And he'll be grabbed from behind and slung down like a rag doll. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Super Bowl 51 after this. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Now it's Lockett. Yards on the return. Picked up some good blocks as well. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it...
And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Jimmy Graham, 27 yards. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
so well. Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
A shotgun snap for Newton. Finding time. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. On first down, Newton surveying the field. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number one. Let's look ahead for a quick minute. We don't have the schedules yet for next year, but what we do have are the 5 international games that will be played, 4 in London and then 1 again in Mexico, Jacksonville, Baltimore, Miami, New Orleans, Cleveland, Minnesota, Rams in Arizona, those in London, and then Mexico's going to get a great game. the Raiders and New England.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And just think about the ones in London. Remember, they're splitting them between the two different stadiums in London, so they get a different flavor in all of these places. In Mexico, for the second straight year, the Raiders are coming to town. That should be a whole lot of fun.
Should be a ton of fun and a very good matchup. The catch made over the middle by Ginn. And welcome back, the offensive unit. They took the timeout, and now they get set to line up as we resume action. Now Newton on first down. He's got time in the pocket. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. On 2nd and 10, Newton. And Olsen over the middle. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. Now a first down throw for Newton. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
Back to the air, Newton on second down. It's complete, right side to Benjamin. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7.
Hey, the defense is in this game as well. They wanted to make it a tough third down. They were able to do so on that last play, preventing a big gain.
Newton now to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. Now Graham Gano to try the Panther field goal. From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. And Gano's kick is right through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So a field goal here. They're still down, but they put a dent into that lead before the break.
And that's got to feel good because now they've seen that they can put some more points on the board, and that gives them a whole second half to get back to where they want to be, and that's in the lead.
And not great starting field position here for the offense. Back to throw now in his own end zone. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away. But it does get away and it's second down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
And a sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell.
You seriously just skip the halftime of the Super Bowl? Who does that?
It's a Super Bowl. Watch the halftime show. All right, here we go. Third quarter action now. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And out now come the Seahawks. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. All right, different topic here. 2018, the Super Bowl, traveling north, far north to Minneapolis. Early predictions for that one. Who you got?
Well, you know, everyone's still waiting in the NFL for a home team to play in its home stadium, right? So could the Vikings be that team? I'll start in the NFC, and I'm going to say no. I think Seattle, starting to get near that maybe last run with their defense. Earl Thomas returns. I like Seattle coming out of the NFC. How about you?
Well, I'm actually going to take a Dallas Cowboys NFC title run. I think that they came so close this year, probably most talented going into next year.
I like that one. Well, in the AFC, I'm going to go with a team that if they improve their defense and their quarterback stays healthy, they could be that team, the Oakland Raiders.
Okay, I'm going dark horse. Cleveland Brown. He rifles one that's intercepted. It's the safety, Kirk Coleman. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all.
Michael Bennett's versatility, being able to play any position along the defensive front, allows him to make those types of plays. He finds good matchups and gets into the offensive backfield.
And there it works for a tackle for loss. And Gibbs got it. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is now with his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways. Right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
They go back to Stewart on first. Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Now Newton. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
You got to give some credit there, able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and get some type of pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
And that is incomplete. Greg Olsen was the intended target. And now it's 4th down. Here's Andy Lee now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And now a high kick here as he'll try to hang it up there. Only 29 yards on the punt there. Definitely not his best. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better.
Well, you mind if we go off topic for a second?
No, let's go.
I like to do that randomly. AFC playoff contenders for this year that didn't make it last season. Who do you have that might get in?
Well, I think Cincinnati's got to be considered there. Maybe they'd have an offseason that's calm, and they go into this season and try and get back to the playoffs where they had been perennials. How about Denver?
Yeah.
Remember last year, they didn't have the quarterback to start. Trevor Siemian played pretty well overall, but maybe they can get solidified there and ride that strong defense right back into the playoffs. I'm going to give you a couple a little bit off the pace. Indianapolis cannot afford to squander Andrew Luck. One of the better young quarterbacks in the game. They've got to get back to the playoffs. And Buffalo, brand new head coach, brand new people running the ball club. Let's see if they can figure it out, because I think defensively they can be awfully strong.
First down, this is Rawls. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. 4 yards remaining now on 2nd down.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
And Owen caught it up.
On plays Plays like this when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on it.
And look at this, another fake. This is Johnson, he's got it. And he eventually goes down, but not before reaching the 30-yard line.
Okay, that was a fake punt, and it was successful. Throwing the football, I know you threw the football in your past after the fake.
Yeah, but unsuccessful back in my high school days. Old Tim into double coverage, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will bring this one back. It's a pick six for a Panther touchdown.
Now, that was a beautiful play. A pick six. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
Oh, you mean with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
On for the extra point. He's got it. They're back within a score. It's 8, 21-13. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Tyler Lockett now with a return. Up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Here comes Michael Vick now leading his offense back out there. And right now, probably just one thing in his mind, it's getting back to the hot start because he's really faded.
And ordinarily when that happens, the quarterback, as you know, is usually the leader of the squad. Now there's probably a silent camaraderie that comes about him saying, hey, guess what? We got you. Don't worry about it. Let's go, big fella. Because they know more times than not, he tends to pick things up, and they tend to play well. That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
A little lull in the action here to go over an offseason storyline. It's kind of interesting. L.A. a couple years ago, they have no teams, and now they're going to have two with the move from San Diego to L.A. What does that mean for the league and for the Chargers?
It seems like an easier transition, doesn't it, than St. Louis?
And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. It's the safety, Kirk Coleman. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. So that right there was his second pick, but keep in mind, this is a guy who once had a rare 3-interception game in his career.
So what are you saying, that getting 2 in a game, that's like kid stuff for him? That's nothing. He's already done that, right? Been there, done that. You know he wants a third again.
Caught on the left side by Ginn. 19 yards that time for number 19.
And when an offense is doing a nice job selling the play-action pass, a lot of responsibility shifts to the linebackers. They're the ones that have to determine run or pass and get to the proper places on the field.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Offside, defense.
So a first down and 5 for the offense. From the gun, here's Newton. Over the middle here to Brown. And now a fumble. The ball's out, and they will take over at the 29-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I'm here, my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. And onto the field, here come the Panthers. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, and pushed it past the 50-yard line so they thought they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, Not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? This is Stewart again. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. Defense has set themselves up nicely. 3rd and 10 now.
A nickel look by Seattle on 3rd down.
Yep, 5 defensive backs now. Here's Newton. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Cliff Averill in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight. Here's Andy Lee now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And he'll back up a few steps as he'll make the fair catch at about the 8-yard line. It's just a 32-yard punt with no return. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line.
And the game just keeps evolving. Big guys running those corner routes, so difficult to cover.
Back to throw now on 1st down. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it's a 2nd down. He'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
And they pick up the 1st down there with a gain of 4.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the 1st down.
Complete outright to Kurz. Give them 18 on that one. And the Seahawks are going to have a 1st down.
Love the call by the offensive coordinator, recognizing the situation very well, calling for the play-action pass and completing it.
Now back to throw. Drops it underneath for Rawls. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Steps away to his left. Now he's going to let it go. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Doug Baldwin, 32 yards. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. And that was really just a great battle for that football on both sides. The result is a touchdown. Back now here on EA Sports, where the 4th quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the 3rd quarter. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's going to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Back to the air, Newton on 2nd down. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
Timing's crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down inbounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
Benjamin with it over the middle. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here.
Holding offense.
Here's Andy Lee now, as he'll come on to kick for a sixth time tonight. This will be fielded at the 17.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense. That penalty is declined.
Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And that last drive, so effective in the passing game, resulting in the touchdown. Maybe not many people were focused on the trenches. There was good protection there.
Excellent protection. So now, defensively, you've almost got to get down to those starters. Looks like you're a sprinter. Get lower than those guys on offense and find a way to roar through them or around them to get into the face of the passer.
Easier said than done, though.
Way easier said than done. But they've got to try something because right now they're just cutting them to shreds.
They come up at an offset out. He'll look to throw. Being chased out left. There's Baldwin. Touchdown, Seattle. Doug Baldwin, his second touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Carolina getting set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
On first down, Newton. And the tight end Olsen, right side. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Now Newton on first down. It's caught right side. Dixon. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
On second down, here's Newton. It's brought in right side by Ginn. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll match to pick up the reception against man coverage.
Both of them read how much yardage they needed, figured what they had to do, and were able to beat the man coverage.
On first down, it's Newton. And Olsen over the middle. That throw good for 4. It's second down. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback. Off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback has to slide and find open space to throw.
On On 1st and 10, Newton. It's complete right side to Benjamin. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
Quarterbacks like throwing the slant route, but they have to be careful about ball placement. They have to put it in a spot that makes sure the receiver has his body in front of the defender.
And the next snap coming inside the red zone here. Draw play, Newton to Stewart. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive.
Wasn't that long ago that the NFL guys really didn't adopt much from the college game. But one thing that has crept in there is spreading things out, opening things up. Not even just in tempo, but maybe getting better line.
And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Jonathan Stewart scampering home from 19 yards out. And the Panthers are able to cut into this lead. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. They'll again try for 2, this time from the 7. Cam looking to throw. That's caught at the 2. And he is not going to be able to break free as they wrap him up right at the line of scrimmage. And the try for 2 is going to come up empty. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Panthers defense gearing up as they take the field. And with this deficit, let's be honest, it's time for them to get a stop.
And partners, you understand very well from our time together visiting with coaches, defensive coordinators tend to be a little more emotional, a little more high-strung than others.
They are.
I have a feeling that speech came out about taking a stand and bowing up in this possession.
Yeah, that's where this word pride comes out, right?
In a big way. On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
Now he'll throw deep left side. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
The best receivers we know always tease their quarterbacks that, hey, no matter what you do, you cannot overthrow me. Well, guess what? That's exactly what happened on that play. Normally, they timed it up pretty well, but on that one, he just overshot him.
Forced out to his left. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
Now, that definitely hurts because the mindset is getting a 3-and-out there, and they don't get it done. They give up the scramble and a pickup for a 1st down.
Rawls, the lone man in the backfield.
Let's go.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Thomas Rawls there. And now it's 2nd down.
Well, to say that this has not been his game is probably a big understatement. I mean, he is all over the place. Mechanics are off, not accurate, except if you're playing on defense because they picked off a good number of passes.
Yeah, all the INTs, but they're throwing it off his back foot. Pressure coming, just chucking it downfield. He can't do that right now.
No, you can't do that at all. And I think one of the hardest things for a guy having a day like this one is to find a way to just kind of get out of it, kind of get yourself back to neutral. Because what you try and do is make even more spectacular plays to make up for it, and it usually leads to more bad ones.
He'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. Now he's going to let it go. Got a man. It's caught at the 6-yard line. A big play that time for the Seahawks. 57 yards. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side instead of running it.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Holding,
So there you go, holding by the offense, and that'll push him back.
Changes everything now as you try and figure out what your playbook has for you. Longer yardage situations, tougher to execute and pick up first downs.
They'll look to throw again. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. Second down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out of the sky.
They get 15, but they still needed a little bit more. Fourth down. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead, confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish, because strategy would tell you run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it because they feel that confident in what he's getting done.
They try the sneak, but not enough push. He doesn't get in. And the Panthers defense able to deliver the goal line stand. Carolina getting set to take the field. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like they've got something going, and they feel like they can attack again and put more points on the board.
Are you scoreboard watching if you're the offense, or are you just focused on this drive?
We wouldn't be telling the truth if we said that they didn't scoreboard watch. Everyone does it to some extent, but you've got to set it aside right now and just focus on this series. That'll take care of the scoreboard if they punch it into the end zone.
They'll come out in the pistol. To throw on second down is Newton. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. It's a loss of 4. Now third down. Time for a break. We're back to crown a champion after this. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. From his goal line here, Newton. They got his man complete. They give him 27 yards on the third down conversion. And the offense moving quickly to the line. Now a first down throw for Newton. He'll hit Whitaker in the flat. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here. Again, Newton. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Throwing on third down, Newton. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. It's the Pro Bowl quarterback, Richard Sherman, and his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
A simple tip of the cap, a nod of the head to the defense. Congratulations, you got us last time. But you didn't hold us the whole time. We got down to position. We were able to be in position to score. Let's go ahead and attack again. Continue to have that kind of confidence. Not worry about
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. The Panthers are going to take another timeout. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action.
And the Panthers bring in their nickel set as they try to defend here on third down.
5 defensive backs. They'll look to throw. Buying time to his left. Now he'll throw deep left side. And this is caught at the 20. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside.
Let's go.
And looks like he'll throw here. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone.
I guess they figure with a guy who is that hot downfield, who knows how to get the ball into the end zone, you throw it up and give him every opportunity, even though that one fell incomplete.
Yeah, he's already been in the end zone multiple times. Tried to target him again deep there, but unsuccessful.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Going for it all. So they took a shot there on third down, couldn't get it. Now it's fourth.
Well, the obvious goal is to try and score a touchdown, but at the least, adding to a pretty big yardage total for...
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. It's caught outright by Graham. They pass up the three, fake it. It doesn't work.
I remember being taught that cliches have become so for a reason. A lot of times they're true, right? What's that they used to tell us about letting sleeping dogs lie? But this one wasn't sleeping, maybe just slumbering a little bit. But taking that gamble there, you've got the lead. You may have ignited them now if they stopped you.
That's exactly right. If you take the points here, you don't shift momentum necessarily on that play. You probably just did. Offense looking to avoid a third and long. It's 2nd and 10. On 2nd and 10, Newton. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. The intended target that time was Jonathan Stewart, and that'll make it third down. And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the second down incompletion.
Well, the pressure, the hits, the sacks have been coming at him all game long. I'm frankly surprised that they haven't found a solution yet to create more time for him to throw it.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. It's the Pro Bowl cornerback, Richard Sherman, and his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. And who else to make the big play to seal this?
Sense of timing, doesn't he? He loves the spotlight, loves the big stage. Really feels no pressure when there's a big play that needs to happen, and he just did another one right there. Remember when he knocked one away to seal an NFC Championship game against San Francisco?
Yeah.
And that was really kind of the big arrival on stage for the rest of the world was that play in that game for Richard Sherman.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. They come out here in the eye. They go play action here on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups. And they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
They'll come out in the pistol. He'll try again with the arm here on second down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's fourth down.
I'm not quite sure how he wasn't able to hold on to that one in the end zone. A great opportunity lost, but a lot of relief for the defensive guys. When they get into film next week, they're going to want to know what happened. Where was the breakdown that almost allowed a touchdown?
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth. Back to throw again. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. And they're going to come up empty here on fourth down. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
And that will be incomplete.
Left field, call it Babe Ruth ball it.